I'm Dr. Starita Ansari from the new 3Rs. I'm the EduTech Innovator and Workforce Developer. We're going to talk about giving circles today. Giving circles in responsive philanthropy are not new. Black people always pull their resources together in response to racial inequities. And when I think about responsive philanthropy, I think of the Black Panther Party, free breakfast programs, health programs, GED, and so much more. My grandfather co-founded the first Black credit union in Brooklyn, Paragon, and he instilled in me the values of being responsive to the needs of the Black community. My partner, he was raised the same way. His cousin is Elbert Williams. Elbert Williams was the first NAACP officer to be lynched, fighting for my right to vote. Yet Elbert Williams' story is not found in any American history book. See, they were fighting for me. The lyrics of H.E.R is in the soul of every Black person, from the United States to the Nigerian medical students in Ukraine. I can't breathe. Will anyone fight for me? How do you judge off the color? Will anyone fight for me? When our son was in elementary school, I stood outside speaking with a fellow parent, waiting for his dismissal. Well, her child arrived first. With the biggest, warmest smile, he walked up to me and asked if I were another child's nanny. She reached to grab him, and I told her, it's not his fault. It's the conversations that you are not having at your kitchen table. And we have been part of that school since pre-K. So when I reflect on my Black boy's journey, it's not just the fault of parents. It's also the fault of educators. When he was in pre-K, he came home and we were sitting at the dinner table, and he was only 2 years old. And we asked him how was his day, and he said he got a timeout. And we inquired, why did he get a timeout? And he said for raising his hand. And we asked, well, why were you raising your hand? And he said to answer the questions. The next day we went to the school and we asked the teacher, did he get a timeout for raising his hand? And she said, yes. He gets all the answers correct, and that's damaging to the self-esteem of the other students. My child was the only Black child in that nursery. I can't breathe. How do you judge off the color? Will anyone fight for me? And when people look at me, they don't see a Black woman who designed a domestic and street violence program that Bill Clinton's administration ranked as 10th. They see the help. And research shows that the earlier we teach our children the truth, the better. The American Psychological Association and the Southern Poverty Law Association says to address racism, before the children turn their teen years, they must know the contributions Blacks have given the world, as well as the Black Holocaust. So what is the new 3Rs? Through the art of social justice storytelling, we build relationships and a sense of responsibility. Dannie Gore's 10,000 Black History Artifacts teaches families the contributions Blacks have given the world before 1619 and after. Our book club and video teaches our 6th to 10th graders, students, and their families that racism is systemic. But most importantly, because we're an online program, we have families who are Black, white, Asian, Buddhist, Hindu, Jewish. We're all coming together because we want that more perfect union. And that's why our tagline is Your story is our story. And over the course of 1 year, the new 3R 6th to 10th graders developed the critical racial justice skills to blog about racism and the will to do something about it. The Black history taught by Dannie has inspired the children to request that their responsive philanthropy be global justice philanthropy. So therefore, we partnered with Dr. Copeland, the founder of the WISE Fund. So the new 3R students grants to Black-led organizations in Africa, Australia, Brazil, and India. Our students are the youngest and most diverse, responsive philanthropists interested in the lives of Black people around the world. And the most emotional outcome that sticks in my soul is non-Black children, 6th graders, 7th graders, saying they did not know how hard it is to be Black until the book club and the Race Matters conversations and the Black history that we teach and the exercises in the breakout rooms that requires them to listen to the heart and souls of one another. So the new 3Rs helps you have the conversation at your kitchen table, the conversations that many parents aren't having. So can you join us in creating a more civic and compassionate society, one child at a time? 10,000 Black history artifacts. There's a lot to talk about. So Dannie, let's tell one story about a philanthropist.
Hi, I'm Dannie Gore, historian for the new 3Rs, and today I'd like to introduce you to, and in some cases, reintroduce you to Madam Sarah Spencer Washington and the Apex Empire. Sarah Spencer Washington was born June 6, 1889, and died March 23, 1953. Businesswoman Sarah Washington was the founder of Apex News and Hair Company in Atlantic City, New Jersey. A self-made millionaire who rose from humble Virginia roots to found an empire under the name Apex. She would become one of Atlantic City's great philanthropists. A visionary of her time, Washington moved to Atlantic City in 1913, where she began her enterprise in a one-room shop. Struck by the lack of hair products for African-American women like herself, she decided to try her hand at making some. Now, it didn't hurt that she had studied chemistry at Columbia University, a highly improbable accomplishment for a lady in that era, which followed an equally improbable degree in business administration from Northwestern University. In 1920, she created Apex News and Hair Company, reasoning that beauty was always a good business to be in, and she was right. She expanded her operation to offer a variety of cosmetic tools and supplies for African Americans. The Apex Company was expanded to include Apex Publishing Company, Apex Laboratories, Apex Drug Company, and Apex Beauty Colleges, which operated internationally. Mm-hmm. The Atlantic City plant manufactured over 75 products from raw materials and provided employment for over 215 men and women. Employees worked as chemists, lab technicians, and sales representatives. Washington also employed around 45,000 active Apex agents across the country to speak on behalf of her company and its many products. Madam Washington, as she was known, thumbed her nose at highbrow hotels that refused to service African Americans by opening the Apex Rest, an upscale hotel for African Americans with 15 rooms, tennis courts, and large spacious lawns for croquet, and a dancing pavilion catering to select family and tourists. as her ads boasted. The select was no doubt a clever reply to the perceived her people. She followed that with other apexes, founding one of the first Black-owned golf courses in the nation, Apex Golf Club, a nursing home, a working farm 15 miles outside of the city that provided eggs, vegetables, and fruit for her many entities. She also donated land to a campsite for African American youth and financially supported other youth organizations. Washington is praised as one of the most important business executives in the Black community. She is recognized as a pioneer in promotional techniques and worked to establish a communications department. This encouraged African American organizations to support African American businesses. In 1939, Washington was recognized as one of the most distinguished businesswomen for her achievement at the New York World's Fair. Widely known as Madam Washington, she also spent several years as an Atlantic City committee woman. She served as a delegate to the Republican National Convention and as president of Northside Business and Professional Women's Clubs. During World War II, Washington filled the positions of commissioner on the conditions of the urban colored population. Today, there's a historical marker in Atlantic City in the neighborhood where Madam Washington lived and operated Apex. My name is Dannie Gore, historian for the new 3Rs, and this has been a brief introduction to Madam Sarah Spencer Washington and the Apex Empire.
Thank you, Dannie, so much. My name is Joy Webb, and I like to call myself the collective giving evangelist. I love talking about collective giving, and it is a joy to be a philanthropic consultant with the new 3Rs. What we just heard today was about a philanthropist, and she used her collective power to change her community, which is what the new 3Rs are doing. The students are learning, they are growing, they are learning about their history. They are realizing that we are one together and we can do things so much better when we do it together. So to hear about, various demographics, various backgrounds, whether that be Jewish, Hispanic, African-American, all throughout the diaspora, learning about this history is amazing. And to hear these stories that are not known from a general population. This is new to me, but it's really exciting. And it is really exciting that the youth are able to learn this now, where they can use their collective power in the future. So they know that they are stronger together and that they can build on the time, the talent, and the treasure that they build their giving circle with. I am so excited to be on this journey. I am so excited to be learning about what is new, and those several artifacts that you talked about and you teach the students, they are able to use that and show impact in their communities today and in the future. So I'm going to pass it back to Starita and let her share what else is needed, right? We know that we are stronger together. We know that your story is our story. We know that the new 3Rs are very, very impactful and will change the world by giving back to Black-led nonprofits and organizations globally. So is there anything else you need from us? Because we need to be in this fight along with you. This is a movement.
And yes, it is a movement. And Joy Webb is our global responsive philanthropy advisor for our children. Responsive philanthropy is different than philanthropy because we're responding to racial inequities. And Dannie Gore is our historian. And the three of us here today, we want you to join us. And you can do that by visiting the website and subscribing to our Black History newsletter because it's free. And that's a resource that you can share with everyone. And then we want you to also share our work with others. Help us teach children how to make life better for Black people around the world through responsive philanthropy. Every summer, we enroll 6th to 10th grade students across the United States, teaching them all the great things Black people have given the world. Help us create the more perfect union. Thank you.
Thank you.